Hello everyone, let's talk about the superposition method to solve circuits. As usual, I will consider an example circuit. I will first solve the circuit using the mesh current method, and then I'm going to derive the superposition method. For the mesh current method, I can consider two loop currents, I1 and I2. For this circuit, I will consider the two independent sources as the inputs and the two loop currents as the outputs of the circuit. The KVL equation on the left-hand loop would be -2 is the voltage drop as I go up, plus 5 times I1 is the voltage drop from left to right across a 5 ohm resistor, plus 3 times I1 minus I2 is the voltage drop across a 3 ohm resistor from top to bottom, and that should be equal to 0. Note that the branch current across the 3 ohms from top to bottom should be equal to I1 minus I2. Similarly, the KPL equation for the right hand loop would be starting at that point, ending at that point, going clockwise, going up. I have -3 times I1 minus I2 as a voltage drop from bottom to top, plus 6 times I2 plus 8 equal to 0. Simplifying the equations, I get these two. I can rearrange the equations into matrix form like this. Let's call the matrix A, the vector of the currents as capital I, and this will be equal to the vector of the voltages as V. Note that capital V is the vector of inputs and capital I is the vector of outputs. If you multiply both sides on the left hand side by A inverse, you get I is equal to A inverse times V. And when you do the calculations, it will turn out to be equal to minus 0.0952 and minus 0.9206, which will be the currents I1 and I2. Now, let's say B is equal to A inverse, in which case this particular equation here will turn to be I is equal to B times capital V. The point is the output vectors or the output vector is related to the input vector using a matrix multiplication. And this transformation here, because of this property, is a linear transformation. That means from going from the voltage vector V or the input vector V to the current vector I, we are multiplying by matrix. So the transformation from V to I is a linear transformation. Now let's look at this equation a bit more deeply. I can write the input vector V of voltages as sum of this vector 1 plus vector 2. Note that in each of the vectors on the right hand side, only one of the independent sources is non-zero and the remaining are 0. Substituting this in the top equation will get us this equation here. On the right hand side, I can write that as B times V1 0 plus B times 0 V2. Note that the matrix B is the matrix which is capturing what's happening in the circuit, and the vector of voltages are representing the independent sources. So another way of interpreting this equation is that you can get the same currents in the circuit by first connecting V1 and setting the second voltage to 0, and then connecting V2 and setting the first voltage to 0. In each of these circuits, you find the currents and then add them up and you get the original currents. In other words, this first term here represents the currents in this circuit. Note that the voltage V2 is set to 0, and the second term represents the current in this circuit, and note that the voltage V1 in this is set to 0. So you first set V2 to 0, find all the currents, set V1 to 0, find all the currents, and in each branch you sum up the currents obtained from these two circuits, and that would be the currents in the original circuit. And this is what is superposition method. In superposition method, one way you can use it is by setting all the voltages except one of the voltage source to be non-zero, or in case you have multiple independent sources which are a mix of voltage and current sources, you can consider the circuit with each source at a time while setting all others to 0, calculating the currents for each of the source that way, and then adding them up. So let's verify if this actually works by calculating I1 and I2 in each of the circuits independently. For the first circuit, I can simplify it like this. Then I1 would be 2 divided by 5 plus 3 parallel 6, which will be equal to 2 over 7. For the second circuit, I can simplify it like this. I2 will be -8 over 6 plus 3 parallel 5, which will be equal to -1.0158. I can get I1 using the current divider rule, which means I1 should be equal to 3 divided by 5 plus 3 times I2, which should be equal to -0.3809. So I have I1 in both the circuits. So in the original circuit, the current I1 should be a sum of these two, which would be equal to negative 0.3809 plus 2 over 7, which will be equal to negative 0.0952. If you notice, this will also be the same value which we got previously when we're doing the mesh current method. So the advantage of superposition method, even though it may feel slightly more lengthier, the advantage is that you can deal with one voltage source at a time. And when you're doing that, the remaining circuit often falls into simple series or parallel circuit, which you can easily manipulate. And you can calculate the currents in that simpler circuit and then go back to and do this one source at a time, and then go back to the original circuit and sum them up. Now here's the more important generalization we can make. No matter what method we use, whether node voltage method, mesh current method, or superposition method. Since all the KCL and KVL equations are linear, the input and output values in all circuits will be related using a linear transformation. That means for any circuit, the output values can be expressed as a matrix times the input values, which means you can use the superposition method for any linear circuit. In the above derivation, we replace the vector of input voltages using these two vectors. Note that you can also express this vector as a sum of these two vectors. And if you substitute in the above equation, you get this expression. Note that each of these terms also correspond to a circuit, right? Note that B is the matrix which is capturing what's happening in the circuit. So I want you guys to think about, okay, what do these two vectors mean? Does that mean if I calculate I1 and I2 in this circuit, and I calculate I1 and I2 in this circuit, I sum up those currents, will those currents be the same as the I1 and I2 in this circuit? Think about it.